here's what we're going to do. We are going to discuss week 1 preseason games first. No, it doesn't matter if you won or lost. That is really kind of irrelevant. However, there is a lot to glean from these games and these joint practices. So I want to start with you, Dose. I want a pleasant surprise from your Detroit Lions, who did lose to the Bengals 16-14.
Okay. I'm not going to lie, though, Jesse, just to be completely honest. Like, even though it doesn't matter, I was checking the Packers score on the other end. Like, you know what? We're losing, but Packers are losing too. We're all right. Anyways, though, the biggest surprise for me was Christian Mahogany. Actually, I know coming into it was like left guard position, kind of up in the air. I wasn't very confident it was going to look great. He played a ton in this game. And honestly, I went back and I didn't hear
Is it just me? Hold on. Dose. I'm going to have you leave and come back in. No, you're not muted. It's just wait, sounds like you're a mouse talking super fast.
Got alien Mike. Oh my God. That got worse.
It got worse. Okay, let me leave.
It wasn't just me, right?
No, I asked you guys in the private chat. I was like,
all right. I get it.
I was surprised
like,
it kept running.
Well, no, I feel like sometimes it's like on my end, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just let it happen. It'll figure itself out. But apparently it wasn't just me. So let's take 2. All right. We're in preseason form 2. Dose, talk to us.
Yeah, test. Sound
much better. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to act like the show just started again. All right. You guys ready for this? All right. Week 1, pleasant surprise. Dose, what do you got for me?
All right. Jesse, my week 1 pleasant surprise is on the offensive line. I'm going Christian Mahogany because it is still one of the biggest question marks this season is offensive line. We know we got to figure out center, but I didn't come in overly. I'm crazy, don't I? Am I okay?
Nope. You're good.
Okay. You scared me a little bit there when you took me out. I was like, something's wrong.
Sorry.
Well, he played a ton in this game, and I came in kind of with I don't say the expectation, but I didn't think he'd play a lot. Then I was also kind of looking forward to seeing what Frazier was and eventually Ben Barch. So I was super open-minded to who's going to take over left guard. And I still think that's a real position battle. But going back and watching, and I wasn't hearing great things because I jumped in. I mean, the second quarter was started. So I was like, dang, people are concerned. He ain't playing well. But then I go back and I'm like, Mahogany was really impressive. And it wasn't the run blocking, which is kind of where I expect things to look pretty good. Essentially, I mean, sometimes there's bad there, but the pass protection, very concerned about. And in this game, I thought he was excellent. I thought that's where he was at his best. I thought he looked like the best guard in this game in pass protection. So I'm not over the top about it, saying he's absolutely locked in that position. I still think there's somewhat of a battle that has to take place there. But to get off on the right foot, he absolutely did that.
But you guys lost your starting center, though, too, right? So, like, this is kind of a big deal. The whole middle of this offensive line, you got to figure it out. Listen, Christian Mahogany, I really liked as a prospect. Kind of disappointed how he's shown up so far. I figured he'd be playing by now and locked into a position. The fact that he's still competing, I don't know, a little surprising to me, but I think the talent's there, Dose. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is to what you're saying is like the Lions have not really addressed that position. They've kind of left it open for him to be the guy. I was just concerned because I didn't think last year was that good for him, but they've leaned on him being that guy, and they really haven't backed off of it at all. They just played him a ton, but he played well.
All right. Sounds good. I mean, you just don't seem super impressed with them, so maybe, I don't know. You're the scout. You're the evaluator.
I was pleasantly surprised, Jesse. That's it.
Pleasantly surprised. Like, okay, now he's finally doing something. All right, I'm just saying, like, up to this point, you know, okay, all right, fair enough. All right,
man. You know what? Just last year,
give my boy some love, Mister. I'm a 7.5 confident over here.
All right. He gets the game ball. Right. Congratulations, Christian.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's exactly what I was hoping for. If you could just hand out a game ball to Christian Mahogany, then that's great. All right, perfect. All right, guys. Let's go over to Bass. I want to hear about somebody who you are pleasantly surprised about losing to the Steelers, as Dose was pointing out before he turned into a mouse on us. 28-9.
Yeah, so I have a couple ones here. Obviously, like you said, scores aren't really you're not really paying too much mind to them in a preseason game. A couple things that I really liked in this game. Trey Smack. We know the Packers have had a lot of kicking issues over the past, ever since Mason Crosby really left the building. The Packers have been trying to find a consistent kicker, and albeit this is just one preseason game, but he was perfect. And this is a breath of fresh air from earlier in camp when he was kind of inconsistent. He was getting a lot of flack, and in this game, he went 3 for 3 on the box score, but he actually went 4 for 4 in my heart and in Packers fans' hearts, because the first drive, he attempted a 58-yarder, made it, but it was, I think they lined up over the long snapper, so it put us up 15 yards. Drive continued. Then he ended up taking I believe, 37-yarder as well. But then later in the game, he hit another 50-plus yarder. He had a 57-yarder and also a 38-yarder. So 4 for 4 in this game for Trey Smack is, the best we could ask for as Packers fans right now is just for him to build confidence and kind of continue to do that as we head into the season, and hopefully can become a consistent kicker for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that's what they traded up for him, or to get him to get in the building and hopefully not have any kicking issues like we had last year with Brandon McManus, not only in the playoff game, but a lot of our losses last year, if you go look at them, a lot of them can be tied to a missed kick, whether that be a field goal or a PAT. A lot of them came down to that. Another player that was definitely a pleasant surprise for me was Kyle McCord. Right now, he's our quarterback number 3, and he came in and locked up that position in one game because they cut Kyron Drones like the next day, and Kyron Drones looked terrible, so it made Kyle McCord look even better. And honestly, Tyrod Taylor didn't even look that good, so I don't think this is going to happen. I think Tyrod's kind of locked into that second quarterback role just due to his experience and due to the contract they gave him. But Kyle McCord might make it a conversation if he plays another 2 preseason games like that. He finished 12 of 16, 102. Good, decent rating, 91.1. Showed more mobility than I kind of expected out of him, so it was really nice to see that. And the Packers maybe have a future project at the quarterback position. We know how the Packers like to really invest in a younger quarterback, grow, build them up, and then maybe end up getting a comp pick, just like the Malik Willis now in Miami. So, yeah, Trey Smack, Kyle McCord, two pleasant surprises in a 9-point game.
Let's get into some prize picks. Promo code HMA for new users. This is a heck of a promo, guys. Promo code HMA for new users. Play $5. If you win your first play, you get $150. So here's what I got going into week 1. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown scoring a touchdown. I got Caleb Williams. I'm fading him at 239.5 passing yards. Tucker Kraft, I'm also fading him at 52.5 receiving yards. And I'm sorry, I'm fading Justin Jefferson too at 76.5 receiving yards. That is my card for week 1. Here's what I would suggest, though. If you are a new user and you're using promo code HMA and you're simply just trying to get that 150 bones, what I would do is pick 2. Don't pick more than that. That's all you got to do. Pick 2, go more or less, keep it simple, win your 150, and then go crazy on their dime. That's what I would recommend. Links in the description. Check them out. They are a proud sponsor all year long at Roundtable Sports. Which also brings me to our next sponsor, which is RotoWire, the best tandem fantasy football app out there. Listen, I've got a crazy league. My league is a super flex league, keeper league, extra flex position. There's a lot going on, half point PPR. And when you're preparing for a league like that, you have to have RotoWire by your side, because doing any mock draft is not going to help you. Going to a random website, running a mock is not the same as connecting a league to RotoWire and having it walk through scenarios with you, coming up with a strategy, and then helping you throughout your actual draft. RotoWire has got you covered. Drafts are hot and heavy right now. Hopefully, you're not in one of those leagues that have already drafted. Too many injuries. You shouldn't be drafting until a week before the game, or week 1 games at the earliest. If you can do it 2 or 3 days before, that's what I would recommend. Just, I'm not telling you how to run your leagues. I'm just saying, don't be that guy. All right. If you use promo code RTS, you can get 25% off your first month with RotoWire. Check them out. They are absolutely incredible. Been winning a lot of leagues with them for many years. Okay. Well, I love to hear this. First of all, Kyle McCord, Syracuse, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I had a very Kirk Cousins vibe from him coming out of college. So, maybe there's something to that. But kicker. It's funny because you literally just talked about kicker like the week prior about like how shaky it was and how you've lost playoff games due to it. My 49ers have been the beneficiary of that a couple years ago, so thank you very much. But yeah, finding a kicker is very important. You lose a high-level kicker like you did in Crosby, and now a couple years later, you're still trying to figure it out. Maybe you found your guy, so that's good to hear that he is a pleasant surprise. All right, let's go to Minnesota. Minnesota, they're a one bar. Give me your pleasant surprise from week one.
Just nailing it, Fargo style, baby. I'm going a little deeper. I'm going like a lot of the positions with the Vikings as far as the battles. They're fairly set, but one that's still open is that wide receiver 4. We're loaded at the wide receiver. The top 3 are golden, but Miles Price, the undrafted free agent last year, who had a great rookie season as a return man. They're really looking for somebody to grab that 4 by the balls, and Price did that. Like, there's big questions as far, can he actually be a receiver? Can they do anything with him? When they brought him in, he was kind of looked at as this gimmicky type of receiver, a guy that might not see the field a ton, but he went out there and balled out. Like, he had one of the plays of the week, that catch that Carson Wentz threw him in the end zone. He was 4 for 51. He had another tough catch as well, and he's doing everything to just absolutely steal this thing away from Ty Felton. And going into this preseason, I was thinking, like, man, Price has to do something. He can't just be a return guy. I mean, granted, he's good, but like, bring something else to the table. And I really wasn't expecting it. And the dude just went out and killed it. He's not the biggest wide receiver, but get the ball in his hands and he can make some plays. So Miles Price was definitely my pleasant surprise week one. 1-0, baby.
Yeah, well, okay. I was going to actually mention that the Vikings did win. I'd mentioned that the other 2 lost. I figured I should probably let you guys know the Vikings did win, whether it matters or not. That's number 1. Number 2, you guys don't need any more receivers. All right, so they just chill out with the receivers over there. All right, you guys got enough. You're good enough. All right, just chill out a little bit. But good. I'm glad you have 4 really good receivers. That's great to hear. 1 bar. That's nice. I'm trying to find 1 really good receiver at this point. Okay. Nick, your Bears, actually the biggest winners, 34-10 against those lonely Browns, but you guys did get the victory. Tell me who was a pleasant surprise in week 1.
Well, first of all, shout out to the win. I mean, we started off down 10-0. I was like, great, we're doing this to the Browns. And then we rattled off 34 unscored. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by a couple of guys. First one, though, I think all Bears fans in the chat right now, Jamari Chroma, he was unbelievable. The undrafted rookie free agency out of James Madison a couple of years ago has been with the Bears for 3 years. He had 6 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Just a ton of fun to watch, and it gave us like that boost, like, all right, maybe we actually have some depth at the edge position. I know they're going against the Browns, obviously, so that's not saying as much, but going against our 2s versus another team's 2s, it's not like we were going our 1s versus 2s. Like, it was the fact that we were playing our depth guys and we were able to see them dominate another team's depth is a good sign. So I was super pleasantly surprised by him on the defensive side of the ball. Played with a lot of heart. He fast off the snap. We did bring in Marcus Davenport, so I know Dose and 1 bar know all too much about the injury news with him. But yeah, he definitely comes into the room. I was kind of shocked by the sign after that, but we want more depth pieces. Beanie Bishop was also a ton of fun to watch. I mean, he had 2 interceptions on the day for the Bears. Picked him up not earlier that week, in the former Steeler. I know he has a 3-game suspension entering the season, but ton of fun during the preseason. So that's off there. And then Caden Davis. Caden Davis is a wide receiver that's played for the Browns, the Lions. He's been all over the place. But yeah, he knows Ben Johnson's offense from the time that he was in Detroit, and he had 4 catches for 88 yards. He was all over the field making big plays, super athletic. And at wide receiver 6, I think it's between him and Scotty Miller right now who are going to make it. But a lot of pleasant surprises in the big win. And then Case Keenum, shout out to him. I know 1 bar is probably, I can't see him right now, probably grinning a little bit. But Case Keenum, man, I mean, quarterback 3, he looks solid. So a lot of fun players that came out of this past preseason game for sure.
Nice. Well, I didn't realize how much it looked like you were in the witness protection program until I made you go full screen there. So shout out to you, bud.
I'm traveling for work.